Evening peeps, evening. Excuse me, Tokyo drifting tonight. So it is round 7 of the Team Oliver Racing GT3 League, hosted by Mature Racing Club. I'm getting all my words mixed up tonight. But yeah, big shout out to the sponsors, Team Oliver Racing, for sticking their name behind this one. Much appreciation. We will certainly see you at Donington for a bit of messing about. We were all there, well, a few of us were there at the weekend, having a bit of a meet-up. Watching the British GT series as well. Good it was as well. The weather was awesome. A lot of red people leaving that race. But we are back tonight, as I say, from Tokyo Expressway. Nothing but steel and concrete to guide you around this one. There's no room for error here, really. It's a tricky circuit. Again, a lot of speed through these corners, which can cause you to pin yourself into the wall, which obviously will ruin your race. So let's have a look at points so far this season. Come on, why won't you do what I want you to do? Do what I want you to do. There it is. Right, so we are into round 7 tonight. Then Philo back in the lead of the championship by not many points. Gecko had the championship last week, but Philo getting a good few points on the board last week, just managed to take that back off him. So he's sitting on 252 points versus 247 for Gecko Racer. Potter McPotts is in third with 210. We've got DIA3SP Mart in fourth with 143 points. TOR Ace Killer in 5th with 134 points. Brinky 93 6th with 108 points. Oni Kaijin 7th, 106 points. Fat Pickles Bro 8th. He's got 82 points on the board. DDRIT 43, not 33. 43. He's sitting in 9th. He's got 72 points on the board. Yeah, I'm Frosty is in 10th. He's got 70 points on the board. D Ridders 88, 11 on the in the championship, 63 points on the board. WPR Millerman sitting in 12th in the championship, 49 points on the board. Kane, evening brother, how you doing? We've got Savage, many numbers. Is he racing tonight? Let's have a can't see him. I don't think he is. He is sitting in 13th with 31 points. Rubinho joined the season late, so he's sitting in 14th. He's got 27 points. NBR Frozen is in 15th, and we've not seen him for a week or two either. So he's on 25 points. And Hattalad, who was racing in the championship but has backed out, he's 16th and 14 points. And again, you're not going to see him for the rest of the championship. So, all right, merch still available, people. T-shirts and stickers. Let me know if you want any of those. Hit me up, darksmoker@googlemail.com, or on the chat, or in the Facebook page, or however you want. Don't throw rocks at my window. I won't be happy. Right, into the lobby then. Let's turn some sound on so you lot can hear these beautiful cars. Who have we got in the room? Potter McPot, Gecko, Millerman, Philo, Fat Pickles, Mart, Brinky, Oni, Ace Killer, Frosty, Brits Burger in the room tonight. Oh yeah, he's joined. I thought you were in Pro-Ams. Thought you were joining Pro-Ams. You've been pushed over to Pros, have you? D Ridders is in the house. DDR IT 43, not 33. No Savage many numbers tonight, unfortunately, but missed last week as well. It's a bit of a shame. So qualifying has got underway. Let's get ourselves out on track. Turn the nonsense on. Where are we? Wrong end of the circuit, really. We'll stick with Potter though. He is the first man out on circuit. He is currently holding the pole position. 154.8 with their first full fast lap. D-Dot, evening, brother. Should be a good race tonight, D-Dot. So we have got 2 lobbies tonight, now that D-Dot's popped in the chat. So you're watching the pros with me, Dark Smoker, and we have the Pro-Ams being commentated live over on D-Dot's channel over there on Facebook. So if you're looking for the Pro-Ams, go have a look over there. D-Dot 90. He's got those. Justin, evening. Showing the love and support from all the D-Dot Racing. Cheers, boys. Yeah, if you don't mind doing the same thing, get yourself... Oof, Potter, nearly losing the tail end. Yeah, if you don't mind popping over to D-Dot's page on Facebook and showing him the love, say I sent you, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Met D-Dot a couple of times. He's teeny. Compared to me, he's teeny. Right, okay. Let's get ourselves on board then. Oh, Potter throwing himself in the pits. Thanks, Potter. Alright, we'll stay out with a Gecko Racer then. So down towards turn 1, it's a 90-degree almost, but it's quite a long sweeping corner. And then a little bit of a straight down towards the shipping containers or the dock. Full tilt down here, downhill, back up towards the, what would you call it, a hammer? I don't even know what shape you call it. Into the first of the shipping container corners. A nice ride. Oh, Gecko gets the tail out. 3 rights into a left. You've got to be careful of these walls. Again, you can see absolutely no room for error here at Tokyo. Long sweeping right-hander. Again, quite easy to run out wide on the exit and clatter into that wall. Gecko getting through there cleanly. Now, not quite a straight, but may as well be a straight. It is pretty much full tilt through here. You can get drivers side by side if you're brave enough. But this last corner here, coming into it, it could end up getting all a bit tricky if you are too wide. And through this section as well, very tricky if you're battling with someone. Down towards the hairpin and the pit entrance. It's not at the start-finish line for this circuit. Hard on the brakes then for Gecko. Trying to catch as much of that apex. There's the pit entrance on the left. There's the pit exit. Back over the hill through the little section of S's coming up. Again, tricky little section this one. You can carry a lot of speed, but you can also cause yourself all sorts of damage through here. Tucks it in nicely then, Gecko. Just this final corner to go, and then it's a full blast tilt down towards the line. He was putting in purple sectors as well, Gecko. Let's see what time he's got. And it is pole sitting lap then. 1:54.7 for Gecko. Potter also back out. You can see them all streaming in the pits, grabbing a fresh set of tyres. Who's Ian? Is that IT43? It is, isn't it? Mr. Travers. Big piles of drivers all congregating together on this qualifying session. Just about halfway through it, Oni chucks himself back in the pits, almost out of fuel. You can see drivers have only taken on as much fuel as they need. Pointless sticking in a full tank. We've still got the wobbly lobbies a little bit by the looks of it. Yeah, so we're watching the McLarens, the BMWs, the Mercedes, the Astons at Donington on Sunday. Met up with CJW Racing, met up with, where's he? Met up with this man, yeah, I'm Frosty, who randomly had his haircut at Donington Park and came out looking a little bit worse off, to be honest. But yeah, met up with Frosty, who won last year's livery comp, so him and his mates got complimentary tickets off me into Donington. Free stickers as well, as you do. There is Ian, Mr. Travers in the Renault. Not sure if the Renault's the strongest of cars this season. And I will say that about the British GTs, actually. It was a great big pile of Mercedes, a great big pile of McLarens, 1 or 2 BMWs, 1 or 2 Astons. The Bentley's out this season. Fat Pickles throws himself in the pits. He's coming in for a fresh set of tyres. Yeah, the Bentley's out this season. Just seem to be very little choice of car on the track on Sunday. So let's have a look through these times then. Philo is now on pole position, 154.7. Oh, a little drag down the wall there though. Gecko Racer is nipping at his heels. Potter McPot just a 10th back as well, in 3rd on the grid. Puts in a 154.8, close but not quite enough. Closes that gap up on Philo. Ace Killer 4th on the grid with a 154.8. Brinky 5th. He's getting a little bit of a sneaky toe off of Mart down here. He's got a 155.1 for Brinky. Mart 6, 155.3 for him then in the McLaren. Oni Kaijin 7th. Ooh, what's he on? A 0.7 back from, so he's on a 155.4 then for Oni. Ridder's 8th, he's on a 155.8. I've got, yeah, I'm Frosty, he's 2 seconds, so he's on a 156.7 then for Frosty. Still playing on pad at the minute, actually, Frosty. So not doing bad to be 10th in the championship. IT43 10th. It's his first season at just go back to Frost. It's his first season at competitive racing. I think he's only just sort of picked up a pad in the last 6 to 9 months or something to have a go. IT43 then 10th on the grid at the minute, 157.1 in the Renault. Fat Pickles just come out of the pits, fresh set of tyres on, a bit of fuel as well, 157.7 for him, 11th on the grid. Millerman 12th, he's got a 157.8, maybe a 157.9-ish. And Britzberger, 159.1 for his fastest. Again, returning to league racing after a big chunk of time off, actually, Britzberger. Didn't I say they just don't sound anything like the real thing, Kane? When you stood there and they're ripping by, just thinking about it now is getting the hairs on my arm standing up, because these haven't got it. You can turn up all the bass and all the noise you want, it just there's not enough rah to it. I think that's about the only way I can describe it. Oof, Potter McPot has chucked himself back on pole position. He was looking a bit dangerous. He was closing up on Gecko and Philo's times. And he's now stuck himself at 154.4 in quite near the end of qualifying as well. Only 3.5 minutes left to race. Britzberger. Oh, Britzberger. I think Britzberger was trying to follow Potter's lines. Maybe turned in a little bit early, just catching the wall. See how Britzberger gets on his return to racing. So Potter got a 1/4 of a second on Philo. Can he find a full 1/4 of a second? He's a 1/4 of a second down at the minute. So a full 1/2 a second on this lap if he's going to attempt it. Again, just slowly running out of time. 3 minutes left in qualifying. Gecko just left the pits. He's now got a fresh set of boots on. Again, you don't have to do a full lap here. It is the way the track's laid out. The pit entrance, or the pits in general, are about 3/4 of the way around this track. 2/3 to 3/4 of the way around this track from the start-finish line. Located at the top of that hairpin, at the very top of that map on the top right of my screen, and yours, I suppose. Ace Killer holding 4th, still 0.4 of a second back from Potter's fastest in the Nissan. Brinky holding that 5th as well. Mart holding 6th. Not many positions. Oof, there you go, a bit of Tokyo drifting from Oni Kaijin. Ridder's in 8th. Frosty's moved up a position. He's up into 9th. Found a bit of time. 156.7. Fat Pickles 10th. Millerman in 11th. IT43 12th. And Britzberger Just coming out of the pits with a fresh set of tyres now as well. But it is still this man on pole position here at Tokyo. What are we? 13.5 minutes into this 15-minute qualifier. A minute and a half left for anybody to have a go here. Full 1 hour endurance tonight for the race. So they do have to use all 3 compounds of tyres. So they have to use 1 set of racing mediums, 1 set of racing softs, and 1 set of racing hards. Entirely up to you how you use them, but you are only allowed 1 set of each. So you'll see drivers do, let's see, they'll do not many laps on the hards, maybe 10. Maybe 10 minutes on the hards, 15 maybe. But the soft tyres, they'll blow out quick. They'll get about 20 minutes on the soft tyres. Mediums, they might have to run a little bit long just to try and get the life out of the softs. Again, it depends. Certain cars, tyres don't wear anywhere near as much. A lot of it depends on how you've got the car set up. Potter's looking pretty good. Fair amount of wear front and rear. Not bad left and right either. The course does kind of swap its direction. You do end up coming back on yourself at a couple of points on this circuit. Final lap of qualifying then. Potter chucks himself in the pits, so that is the 15 minutes over. Any laps you're on, you get to finish. But we have got drivers coming up to the line now. Where are you? Here we go. Millerman then, so he crosses the line. IT43 also has finished. Britzberger won't get another lap. Potter still out. Philo, Gecko, Ace Killer, Brinky and Martus as well, I think still out on fast laps. We'll run through the order. Potter will, oof, Potter gets a wiggle on out of that final corner, down towards the start-finish line then. Has he been able to go quicker? Not this lap. Now then. There is a Philo, an Ace Killer and a Mart all in a line. Sorry, it's not a Mart, it's an Oni Kaijin. Who's the next person? Who's that in front of Gecko? Oof, I can't see. It's going through too quick. Is that Britzberg? No, is that Brinky? Yeah, it's a Brinky. Brinky's across the line then. Gecko, he does manage to make up a little bit of time right at the end of qualifying. Takes second position. Can Philo come back and get that back off him, or even go quicker and take pole off of Potter? 149, 150. I don't think he's going to do it. He's not this time, so it is Potter on pole position then. Gecko races second, Philo third, Ace Killer in fourth, Brinky fifth, Mart in sixth, Oni Kaijin seventh, Ridders in eighth, got Frosty in ninth, Fat Pickles in 10th, Millerman in 11th, IT43 in 12th, and Britzberger I think will be at the back of the pack, 4 seconds down from Potter's time, 2 seconds down from IT43 actually. Again, it is his return to racing after a while, so give him a little bit of leeway. There he is, Potter then, a quarter of a second. Oh no, he wasn't, sorry, not with Gecko's final lap. Brought that down to just under 0.2 of a second, Gecko. But still, if Potter can keep that sort of pace, he should be easily able to stretch a bit of a lead if he can keep himself out of the tow range of the drivers behind. See how he gets on. We've got to get through the first few corners first, and it's not always as easy as you think. If you doesn't get a good start either. There you go. Might get it all wrong. Judas No Bible back in the chat, bigging up the Frosty again. You boys need to club together and get him a wheel. That's what you need to do. Early Christmas present. Because when he's on a wheel, he'll be better. But what you'll see tonight, no offence Frosty, Frosty's on pad. Frosty's tyres are going to destroy themselves. Frosty and Mark better be top 3. We'll see. We'll see. Not sure how confident Mart is at this circuit. I think he's raced this a couple of times. Again, there's practice lobbies open every single night. Yeah, there's practice lobbies open every single night if drivers want to jump in and you know, get a bit of track time, figure out which way they need to be turning. A lot of the circuits, not so much in this league, but in other leagues, the GT3 for instance, there's a lot of random tracks that don't get seen very often, and people go, oh, I thought we were racing this version of that track. I've been practicing the wrong one for a week or whatever. I've seen that, especially St. Croix over there. There's a few different variants of that. You can reverse it as well, and yeah, some people have picked the wrong one and practiced it all week. The same with Dragon Trail. You know, someone will put Dragon Trail Seaside up, and what they actually meant was Dragon Trail Gardens, and someone will practice the wrong race. So it's definitely worth getting in the lobby. There's the boys will always give out a bit of advice and help you with tuning, and you know, even if you've never raced before, just jump in the lobby. All right, lads, can I join? I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry if I crash into you. First time racing, whatever. If you're an idiot, and then see you later. You know, if you're just crashing into people because you're crashing into people, that's not how we roll. If someone crashes into you, they're not doing it on purpose. There you go. Anyone in the chat know what G923 or below know what settings to use? No idea. Oh, you the boy that was Riley was telling me about that it didn't work with your PS5. Yeah, if it's an older wheel, it might not have the right sort of updates and stuff. It might not be compatible with the PS5. Unfortunately, obviously, if it works with the PS4, fine. Then, well, then it's. But doesn't with the PS5, then I would say yeah, it's not compatible. But if it doesn't work with the PS4, then no idea. Does it need a firmware update? I don't think they don't do the updates on those, do they? Savage many numbers is in the chat. It should be a good race. I was tempted to message Potter privately and get him to change the weather to wet with nobody looking. Just tell him there was a freak storm that came in. Hurricane Smoker turned up and like just soaked the place. That's what I was tempted to do. Oh, you got the G923. Oh, okay, there you go. So yeah, anyone in the chat know what settings to use for the it's not a Thrustmaster, is it? It's Logitech. The Logitech 923. I've no idea. I used to have a rig, but the space that had a rig is now full of downhill mountain bike. Yeah, get in the chat, people, if you know kind of what settings to use for a 923. Throw them in. So, almost underway then. The good luck shout being given by, oh no, by Philos. I think it's just saying he's back in the room. How long did we finish qualifying? Oh, I didn't look at the clock when we finished qualifying. Anyone else? 9:54 it is now. There you go, it's starting. Potter giving the good look, everyone. That's a sign that we're just about to get underway. Again, full 1 hour endurance here. 3 compounds of tyre have to be used. They only can use 1 tyre of that compound. The grind race. Yeah, we don't we don't like the grinding. It's fun, but no, not in this league anyway. Oof, here we go then. Wait for the old binoculars to turn up, and then we'll jump in. Come on, let me in. Oof. Nonsense. You'd think it would remember settings, wouldn't you? So, Potter on pole position then. Right, sorry, a straight left-hander on turn 1. Potter will have the advantage if he gets the start. Red lights are on then. We wait for these to drop and they're underway. It's a pretty good start by everyone. Oh, a little bit of wiggling from, who was that? Was that Brinky? No, it was Ridders. Getting a bit of a wobble on. So up front then, Potter holds the lead into turn 1. Gecko right behind him though. Bit of a straight now down towards the shipping containers. Potter going to make Gecko work for it. He's holding that inside line as he runs up the hill. Gecko's having a little look around the outside, but Potter makes that car as wide as he possibly can. Finds the apex, covers off any attack. Gecko second then. Let's see what's happening behind. Ace Killer having a punch up with Philo for third position. He holds on to it. Philo, oh, he's dinked into the wall though. No damage luckily for Ace Killer. Did slow him down a little bit. Unfortunately nowhere else for Philo to go, but right into the back of him, so has to hold on to fourth. Brinky fifth, Oni sixth, Ridders seventh. Everyone getting a wiggle on through there. Mart loses a couple of positions down into 8th position. Fat Pickles 9th. Frosty vying for that position though. Side by side with Pickles through there. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. You can go wide, too wide through there, but as you can see, Frosty just catches a little bit of wall, slows him down. Fat Pickles through, Millerman through, Frosty 11th, Britzberger 12th, IT 43 in 30th, down towards the pit area, into the hairpin. Oof. Frosty's gone a bit wide through there as well. Britzberger's got it a little bit wrong. He now falls to the back of the pack on the hard tyre for stint 1 as well, but he's all over the back of IT 43. Around the outside. Tricky place to overtake, but he gets the job done. Back up front then, Potter still leads. It's a 4-way fight for the lead at the minute. We've got Potter, Gecko, Ace, Killer and Philo. Oni Kaijin doing what he can to close up. He's 1.6 seconds down. So if these boys have a little bit of a battle and start using defensive lines, Oni might be able to close up here. But they will have a toe on these faster straights as well. They might use a little bit of the old bump drafting. Mart back up into 6th position. Found those couple of spots back. Gets himself back past Ridders and Millerman. Only 2.6 back off of Oni as well. Both in the McLaren. But Mart has got a full mirror. Yeah, just those that little wobbly lobby back again as drivers come around the corners. Unfortunately, oh, Ridders got a wobble on coming through there. That's going to slow him down. Nobody able to get through. Millerman a little bit too far back to take advantage of that. Fat Pickles all over the back of him. Frosty all over the back of him as well for 10th. This is where we saw him try and go side by side with Fat Pickles, but again it's just, you can't, this corner here is just a little bit too tight to go too wide. Frosty then chasing down Fat Pickles. Fat Pickles having a look up the inside of Millerman, carrying the speed down towards the hairpin. Coasts on the way in, does Frosty, not too hard on the brakes. Millerman opens the door wide, allows Frosty to come through as well. Has he? Side by side actually. Let's change that camera up. Where's he gone? Oh, he's just fallen back a little bit. Mercedes versus Mercedes. Frosty's gone deep though. That's allowed Millerman to come through. Oh, he's got the corner. Holds on to 9th, and yeah, I'm Frosty, but he's losing time to the drivers in front. That was the wrong camera angle. That's the one I wanted. IT43 up into 12th, but he's got a great big penalty, 3 seconds, disgusting. And Britzberger in 13th, but a long way back. Again, fresh start, or restart, racing for Britzberger. Back up Pot. Oh, here we go. Potter broken away now, then a full second ahead of Gecko Racer. Needs to try and keep that when they get on the straights. Whoa, Ace Killer has a look up the inside of Gecko as well. Almost touches. Sure, there'll be a little bit of carbon swapped there. Maybe a tiny bit of paint. Ace Killer looking dangerous, but he loses a little bit of time there. He's got Philo now filling his rearview mirror. Top 4 pulling it away then. Oni Kaijin 2.6 seconds back. Mart unfortunately has fallen back again, 4.4 seconds. He's leading this next pack of drivers. He's on the hard tyre for stint 1 as well. This could be the reason. The first 5 drivers I think are all on mediums. Yes they are. Top 4 and Oni all on mediums. Mart on the hards for stint 1. Ridders on the hards for stint 1. Hards for Fat Pickles. Hards for Frosty. Ooh, he's getting a bit of a wobble on. We've got hards on for Fat Pickles. Mediums on for Millerman. Needs to be making those work a little bit better or a little bit quicker. Brinky having a look at the inside of him. Oof. He's on the hard tyre. Hard tyre for IT43 and Britzberger on the hard tyre. So yes, that's why the gap up front is so big. Potter finds another 10th. 1.1 seconds out front. No toe for Gecko. Again, Gecko's got his own worries. He's got an Ace Killer and a Philo pretty close behind him. Lexus sounding good. Philo goes a little bit deep in there. Now he loses a big chunk of time to Ace Killer. A second back. Needs to work on closing that gap down. Otherwise he'll fall into the hands of Oni. He's starting to pull it back already though. Oni's falling back a tiny bit more. 3 seconds back. Mart another 5.4. Again on the hard tyre. So won't be running as quick as those top 5. Ridders another 1.9 back. Frosty up into 8th, 2.6 seconds down on that hard tyre. Little clatter of the wall, but no damage. Timeware not looking too bad. Maybe a little bit more than Brinky behind him, who's on the hard tyre as well. Okay, Millerman, who's on the hards in the Mercedes, very similar. Maybe it'd have been a little bit more wear than Frosty in front. Good battle here between Brinky, Millerman and Fat Pickles. Again, Frosty's just managed to stretch his legs out. IT43, unfortunately, 7.4 seconds down in that Renault. Just don't think he's got the legs this season. I'm not sure if it's got nerfed or whether the other car's got a little boost in the update, but yeah, the GT3 Renault just doesn't seem to have the pace on some of these other cars. Maybe it's down to the tune, I don't know. Again, Britzberger returning to racing, currently on that hard tyre, 13.7 seconds down. Sure it's bigger than that, so we'll keep an eye on that. Back up front then, Potter pulls more time, 1.4 seconds up front then. Rocking the Team Oliver Racing Esports livery is Potter. On the BMW. Oof. So you can see the wear starting to show on Potter's tyres. Going to be causing him a little bit of trouble. As I say that, I look over to the right and see he's just put fastest lap in, 1:56.2, so I'll shut up. Yeah, just keeps pulling a little bit of time over those 3 drivers behind. 1.5 seconds now in the BMW. And more purple sectors, even though his tyres are wearing out. 1.6 seconds, just finding the line here. Gecko Racer second, just half a second in front of Ace Killer, now in third. Again, Philo just trying to close that gap back up. He did manage to fall a second behind, but has managed to find a 10th here or there. Another 10th there, right on the back of Ace Killer. Just half a second back himself now. Arnie falls back a little bit further, 4.1. First of the hard tyre drivers, DIA 3SP Mart in 6th position, 8 seconds down. But pulling time over the drivers behind on the on the hard tyres as well. Everybody behind him on the hard tyres. Yeah, still got this little wobbly lobby, you can see. Fine on straights, just when they're going around the corners, just jig, 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 jig. Bizarre. Ridders in the Aston. He has death down the side of his car. Telling me to be quiet. Brinky's closing up on him though, just 0.9 of a second back, still kicking off behind between Frosty and Millerman. Fat Picklesbro unfortunately has fallen off the back of that fight. He's now 1.9 seconds down. So again, Frosty just yo-yoing a little bit through the field. Fat Pickles 2.1, 2.2 back in that BMW. IT43 another 8.6 back in the Renault. And Britzberger holding that around 14 seconds on IT43. Lap 6 then of this 1 hour endurance. Nobody threatening to ditch the hard tyres yet, or the mediums by the look of it. Ooh, Philo gets sideways through the hairpin. Again, loses time to those drivers in front. It's got to try and make that time up again. 1.1 seconds down for Philo, out of the slipstream range. Lexus, strong contender this season. 5 seconds down now. Unable to keep at the pace of those drivers in front on the medium tyres, unfortunately. Staying way ahead of Mart, who's on the hard tyres. Plenty of life left in those, Mart, on the hards. Starts lap 7 then. Pulls a great big time over this next pile of drivers. Ridders then falls back into the clutches of Brinky. Frosty's made up another position. He's back up into 9th on the chase for 8th and 7th if he can close the gap up. Fat Pickles back up into 10th. Millerman falls down to 11th. Yeah, that front left looking a bit beaten up. There's IT43 closing up. 1.4 seconds down on the hard tyre. Britzberger. What's happened? 41 seconds down then. Been in the wall, I think. Britzberger picked up some damage. Slowed him down. Oof, and again, no damage this time, but a little drag down the wall for him. And look at the gap Potter's starting to pull now then. Almost 2 seconds over Gecko. BMW looking strong here tonight in Potter's hands. Another fastest lap there as well, even with the worn out mediums. Car will be slightly lighter as they use fuel, but you can see everyone just gets a little bit of a wiggle on here and there now. The tyre wear starting to kick in. 1:55.7 then for Potter, fastest lap so far. 1.7 seconds ahead of Gecko, although maybe came out of that fast hairpin a little bit slower than Gecko. Gecko did manage to bring that time down a couple of tenths, down to 1:55, carrying a little bit more speed through those S's then. But still out of the slipstream range yet for Gecko. Ace Killer falls back a little bit again. He's now 1.2 seconds back. Philo still a second back. Top 4 starting to fall apart a little bit. Arnie Kaijin still only 5.5 seconds back. Oh, what's happened to Mart? Has he come in the pits? Brinky's now up into 6th. Frosty 7th. Ridders 8th, Fat Pickles 9th, Millerman 10th, IT43 11th, Mart, yes, has been in the pits, ditched the hard tyres, he's now got a set of softs on, full tank of fuel as well. Just needs to get them hooked up. He will have the soft tyre left for his final stint. Ritzberger now a full minute behind Mart. Potter then gets that gap almost back up to 2 seconds here. Another purple sector from him. And I would have invited you golf, but I thought you had the kids. But Mark says from today or something. So, but I didn't know. You told me you were sorting the house out for the kids next week, and that's why I thought you had the kids. And he does stretch that time over the 2 second mark, just as he comes into the hairpin. But Gecko manages to bring it back down to 1.9, 1.8 actually on the way out. Get a slightly better exit out of there, I think, Gecko. Ace Killer falling back a little bit further, 1.7 seconds. Philo closing back up on him. Now within the slipstream range as we come on to a little bit of a straight here. Oh, he dings into the wall though, Philo. Still will get a little bit of a toe off of Ace Killer here, but it won't be enough to make a move into turn 1. Stick with him through this left-hander down towards the shipping containers. Less than half a second, a little bit too far back to make a move here. Ace Killer's gone a little bit deep, so's Philo though. Both drivers run onto the marbles, both drivers struggling to get these cars gripped. Now the tyre wear's starting to show. And there you go, Ace Killer pulls another 10th over Philo. Trying to find the right gear through there, Philo loses another 10th on Ace Killer. Kaijin falls a little bit further back, 7.4 seconds, 7.5 back from the top 4. Brinky into 6th then with Mart's pit stop. So still out on that hard tyre for Brinks. 16 seconds back from Oni. He's got Ridders just 2 seconds back also on that hard tyre. Millerman on the mediums into 8th. Fat Pickles 9th. IT43 10th. There's Mark not too far behind him on those mediums. 1 second and closing. Frosty then been in the pits. He's now back out on the medium tyres. Hard tyres are off. 9 seconds behind Mart. Ritzberger still out on the hards as well. 36 seconds behind Frosty, but no stop for him yet. Potter just keeping it consistent. Finds a little bit of time here over Gecko, but then loses a tiny bit of time coming out of the hairpin where the pits are. Nicely held through there. Nice tight line through there for Potter. Keeps it well in touch though, Gecko. Ace Killer still holding that 3rd position. Philo not been able to close up on him. Wobble on there for Brinks. Whoa, wobble on there for Ridders. Manages to keep it out the wall. Just Ridders. Ridders just keeps it out the wall there. Millerman comes through that same section. It's holding 8th. Fat Pickles just 1.9 seconds behind him. There's Mart as well. He's already got himself past IT43, hunting down Fat Pickles and Millerman in front at the minute, sitting in 10th Mart. IT43 also out on those hards, not stopped yet. And there is the headlights of Brinky just coming around, of Frosty just coming around the corner, 7.2 seconds behind IT43. Also, fresh set of mediums on board for him. Little blue sectors, finding his pace now then on the mediums, Frosty. Britzberger has been in now. Takes on a fresh set of medium tyres, full tank of fuel. Unfortunately, he's 1 minute 16 seconds down from Frosty in front of him. Fat Pickles and IT43 hit the pits this lap as well. Potter McPot still on the worn mediums. Leads the race. Has had that time come down a little bit, so it was about 2 seconds. It's down to 1.4 seconds now. Still no tow for Gecko. We see the drivers on the medium tyre. Totally different line through there for Gecko compared to Potter. Gets another 10th on him as well. Slowly starting to reel the race leader in then, Gecko. Tyre wear looking very similar between the two. Not in the pits this lap for Potter. Gecko stays out as well. Ace Killer stays out. Philo right behind him now though. Also stays out. Doesn't want to miss the opportunity of getting third position. Get in front of Ace Killer if he can. Nowhere to go through the S's. Himself in touch with Ace Killer. A little bit of dink into the wall through there for both drivers, in fact. Just half a second back again. It's not going to be enough into turn one again for Philo. Has to hold on to fourth for another lap then, Philo. Millerman in the pits this lap as well. Arnie not stopped either on those mediums. Feather in the throttle through there. Ridder's then not stopped. Still a little bit of fuel to play with. Mart back up into 7th. Drivers in front yet to stop as well. See what he can do with that. He's got quite a clear track in front of him. A couple of drivers not too far up the track, but the main contenders. Although they will probably put the hard tyres on for their middle stint, the top 4, maybe the top 5, which might allow Mart, if he keeps his mediums in good condition. They were pretty good on the hards. Let's see what the McLaren's like on the mediums. Those mediums to good effect, might be able to get himself involved with the top 5 punch up when they all drop onto the soft tyres for the final stint. Race leader drops in the pits now then. Who else is coming in? Not Philo, not Ace Killer, not Oni Kaijin. Potter McPot and Gecko then. P1 and P2 in the pits. Potter gets released now. Gecko gets released right behind him. 0.6 of a second. Taking on a tiny little bit less fuel did Gecko. I didn't see what fuel they had when they came in the pits, but it has brought Gecko right into the slipstream range again of Potter. Can he use the power of that BMW to break away again? To this start-finish straight. Potter puts the power down, gets the gap up to 0.7 of a second. So Mart just 22 seconds behind these two. And again, they are out on that hard tyre. We'll see if Mart can close that gap up. But it is currently Ace Killer now leading the race. Still got a mirror full of Philo though. And these boys will really be feeling the tyre wear now. Ace Killer especially, you look at that front left of his. That's got to be giving him some jip. Both drivers running out of fuel as well. A little bit more on board for Philo. Means he can spend less time in the pits. Might be able to make the jump on Ace Killer when they come in the pits. Side by side almost as they come out of that corner down towards this hairpin. Philo throws himself up the inside. Is he going to stay out for another lap? Ace Killer looks like he's coming in the pits. He is. Philo stays out. He has got plenty of fuel on. Still putting in decent lap times as well. 1:56.9 for his last lap. Ace Killer's tyres on. Oni Kaijin in the pits this lap as well. Where's Potter McPot? Into this hairpin he comes. Oof, drivers coming out of the pits just as Potter and Gecko come past. But luckily, oh, it was Ace Killer. He also throws himself right into the battle again. He takes on a little bit, even less fuel, does he? Oh no, he's got a very similar round on board to Gecko Racer, so he's just played his cards right, Ace Killer. 1.2 seconds back from Potter and Gecko. Potter weaves over to the left-hand side of the circuit, tries to drop the toe for Gecko. Only allowed one move. You can't go swerving across the circuit. It'll slow you down anyway. So Philo not stopped on his worn mediums. He will be in at the end of this lap. I don't think he's got enough to do another lap after this one. Oof, a little drag down the wall for him there. 21.5 second lead at the minute, but that will all disappear when he comes in the pits. The dock then. Oh, Potter gets a wobble on into the wall. It's going to slow him down. Oh no, that's Britzberger. No, I just saw him get the shipping container area a little bit wrong. Got the exit, came out sideways and pinned himself into the wall. A little bit of damage. Oh, he's running too close to the wall. I think just trying to stay out of the way of other drivers. But now race leader Philo comes in. Potter McPot, Gecko Racer, still bumper to bumper as they head down towards this pit lane. Potter holds his car in the middle of the circuit. Holds the apex well as well. Gets a little tiny wobble on the way out. There is Philo on the exit of the pits. Comes out in 4th position then. A little bit far back, 1.7 seconds. Again on that hard tyre. What's happened? 41 seconds down on the mediums. Oh no, it's all changed. It's down to 18. It was 22. It had gone up to 40 something for some reason, but it is back down to 17. So Mart pushing on those mediums. Again, needs to make them last until he can get the softs on. Try and close up on these drivers in front. They are on that hard tyre, which will be running slower. They are having a battle as well, which will be slowing them down. Still only half a second, less than that in fact, between Potter and Gecko. Ace Killer now just 0.6 of a second back as well. Top 3 then getting a little bit closer. Now Philo needs to get himself involved. Really turn up the heat. And then hopefully we can see Mart close up. Still 17.5 seconds down. He's managed to make the jump on Oni. Oni's come out on that hard tyre for stint 2. Making it work. He's actually closing the gap on Mart in front. Frosty up into 7th then. Medium tyres already showing a little bit of wear. You can take those a fair way before, as you've seen from the top 5 in stint 1. Need about 20 minutes on the softs. Need to make them last about another 10 here, Frosty. Brinky 2.6 seconds down in the BMW behind Frosty. Ridder's another 12 seconds down in the Aston. Oof. Gets a squiggle on in the medium tyres. Fat Pickles and IT43. Oh, Fat Pickles got a little bit of front end damage. That will slow him down a tiny bit on these straights. IT43 well within tow range here as well. Gets a wobble on in that Renault though. Oof. On the soft tyre now as well for IT43. Medium tyre left to play with. Millerman 12th. He's now out on the hard tyre in stint 2, and it looks like, yeah, we've lost Britsberger. Not getting on tonight. Again, you know, just get yourself back behind the wheel, Britsberger. Must have been moments where you thought, yeah, I've got this, yeah, I'm back, and then, oh no, maybe I'm not. Bosh, into a wall. So the top 3 fight continues. Potter pulls a little bit of time on Gecko. He's got that up to 3/4 of a second, 0.8 now as they exit this shipping container area. He's back down to 0.7. Oh, drivers just catching the wall. 0.5 of a second, and then gap falls to as they come through here then. Dragging Ace Killer, top 3 fight really kicking off. Philo slowly falling back though, 3.4 seconds from Ace Killer. And Mart actually making up 2 seconds on him, 15.5 seconds behind. Loads of life left in those mediums as well for Mart. And bringing the time down on Philo in front, pushing the McLaren hard then in 5th at the minute, Mart. Let's get ourselves back up front. And it's still kicking off. Potter holds that half a second lead. Gecko trying to close up, but he has just got to contemplate Ace Killer in his rearview mirror, who could make a little lunge on him at any minute. Off into the wall there for Gecko. Ace Killer catches the wall on the way out, but it might have been a glitch rather than actual driving. And they close up again. Ace Killer 0.2 of a second back. Everybody trying to drop the toe from the driver in front. Now Ace Killer decides not to go for a move into turn 1. Maybe going to look to run down towards the shipping container area. They're all closing back up on Potter. There is just 0.6 of a second in between the top 3. There you go, Potter weaving, trying to drop that toe in front. Doesn't want anyone to have any real good advantage as they come into the shipping container area, but it's Gecko and Ace Killer side by side as they run in there. Gecko's holding the inside line. Ace Killer tried to brake a little bit later. Didn't work. Has to hold on to 3rd position. It was a brave move by Ace Killer. He was always going to be the disadvantage on the outside. But doesn't lose any time to the drivers in front. Keeps himself well in touch here then. Top 3. Bumper to bumper. Philo falling a little further back. Mark then 13 seconds behind. Nearly 14, but it says 13. And still loads of life left. Pulling time over Oni on those hards as well. Frosty into 7th on the mediums. So he's closing up on Oni, but Brinky is also right on him. Lots better looking tyres as well for Brinky, just half a second back. Long old straight here to have a dig at him as well. There is Frosty in front as we run down towards the pit hairpin. Not close enough, I don't think, to make a move unless he's super brave here for Brinky. Brakes a tiny bit later than Frosty. Frosty keeps his car right in the middle. Maybe didn't need to go quite so defensive there, Frosty. Could have taken the race in line there. Kept that gap between yourself and Brinky, but it's dropped down to just under 0.4 of a second. Into the S's. Closes up a little bit through here as well, Brinky. Oh, both drivers clatter into the wall. Slow them both down a little bit, but it is a little bit worse for Brinky. You can see Frosty stretches that gap back up 2.6 of a second. No damage on either car by the look of it. Ridders in at 9th, 14.6 seconds down. That looks a little bit loose tonight, Ridders. IT43 up into 10th then, got himself past Fat Pickles Bro. And Millerman, you were crabbing around that corner. 11 seconds down at the minute. 35 minutes pretty much done into this 1 hour endurance. And it is still Potter leading. Has still only got that half a second gap. Philo falls further back, 4.8 seconds down from the top 3. Mart also gets another 2 seconds on him, down to 11.8. Pushing the McLaren hard then, Mart. Seconds, might be 12 in a minute, but brings it down again. Moni having a little bit of a lonely race at the minute, 7.8 seconds in front of Mart, 7.4 back to Brinky. Brinky's got himself past Frosty into 7th then for Brinks, 8 for Frosty. Again, tyres looking a little bit beaten up that front left. Be an option for the softs now, Frosty, but there'll be the absolute death's door by the time the race is over. Looking good tonight, Ridder's livery. Oof. Feathering that throttle again, trying to keep it out of the walls. Excuse me, IT43 then pulls a bit more time over Fat Pickles. He is on that soft tyre. Medium tyre for final stint for IT43, whereas Fat Pickles will have the soft tyre. Might be able to take it back to IT43 in the final stint, Fat Pickles. And same for Millerman, he'll have the soft tyre on for the final stint as well. Now, Potter. Oh, finds time. It's all kicked off here then. Ace Killer has got himself into 2nd. Gets himself past Gecko Racer, but the battle for... Oof, all 3 drivers come in then. They're all going in for the soft tyre now. Ace Killer might benefit here. He's holding a little bit more fuel than everyone else. Philo as well on the hard tyre. Holding loads of fuel, still got a quarter of a tank on board for Philo. So he retakes lead of the race. 11.9 second lead. Mart also not stopped, he's still on the mediums. Will be in at the end of this lap. Arnie Kaijin not stopped either, he's in 3rd. 8.7 behind Mart. Ace Killer back out the pits, and there we go. Holding that little bit of extra fuel as he came in the pits meant he could spend that tiny little bit less time in the pits, and I think he's just managed to get himself out in front of Brinky, leaving Potter unfortunately stuck behind Brinky. And Gecko Racer 1.6 seconds down as well. Both drivers taking on full tanks of fuel. Right, Ace Killer, what a move. He is holding less fuel than the 2 drivers behind him. Has he worked it out correctly? Brinky in 5th. Not making it easy for race leaders to come through. Again, it is a current battle for position, although it's not, because Brinky's yet to take his final stop. needs to get himself past Brinky. Ace Killer is stretching his lead out front. He's got 2.8 seconds on Potter. Again, the BMW's looked quick for the first couple of stints, so we'll see whether he can make it work in the final stints as well. Close that gap back up on Ace Killer in front. Race leader Philo and Mart pit this lap. Now, where is Gecko Racer? Fortunately, he's now 1.7 seconds behind Brinky, but Brinky comes in the pits. Philo, oh, Philo. Where's Mart? Still taking on board fuel, unfortunately. Come on, come on, Mart. Come on, Mart. Come on. That's too much fuel. Come on, you don't need that much. Out now. Right, let's get ourselves back up front. Ace Killer then. Leading the race, 2.8 seconds. Potter just holds on to second by the skin of his teeth. Philo managed to get out the pits and inject himself in between Potter and Gecko. Luckily for Gecko, that gives him a little bit of a tow. Without Philo being there, he'd be falling off the back of Potter right about now, I think. Oof, he's fallen a second back from Philo already. He's going to have to be careful here, Gecko. On the softs then, Mart right behind him, also on the softs. Maybe a little bit too much fuel on board for Mart. Ridder's still not taking his final stop yet either. He's on the worn mediums at the minute. Brinky bin in, come back out, fresh set of softs for the final stint. In fact, Pickles not taking his final stop yet. He'll have a set of softs. Frosty has been in, set of softs on board. 19 minutes, you got to make those work, mate. Just keep it steady. IT43 been in, final stop. Taken on board the mediums. And Millerman also taking his final stop. Fresh set of softs to play with. He's 16.2 seconds behind IT43. Let's see what he can do with that. Fresh set of softs versus a fresh set of mediums before the end of the race. Whether he's got enough to get a second per lap, we'll see. Ace Killer pushing the Nissan then. Hunting for his first championship win here in the pro lobby. I think it's your first championship win, is it, Ace Killer? Potter McPot trying to close the gap up. He is pulling a little bit more time over Philo. That was half a second. It's now 0.9. Philo will just be getting a tiny, tiny bit of a tow down here. Potter can get the turn one right. He might be able to pull that gap back out. No! Gecko's clattered into the wall too tight into turn one. He's hit the apex. It's pushed him out wide and into the wall. No damage, unfortunately. Luckily, not unfortunately. No damage, luckily, but now 2.8 seconds off the top three. Mart gets himself past Oni. Now 15.2 seconds behind that top four battle. Getting everybody on the soft tyre. Ace Killer holding this 2.7 second lead in the Nissan. 2.6. Potter gains a tenth on him. Dragging Philo with him though. 0.6 of a second. The gap now between those two. So will they work together? Get themselves on the straights and do a little bit of bump drafting, or are they going to battle for position? Philo is leading the championship, but Potter's not too far back in the championship, so still a threat to take the win. Ace Killer loses a bit of time. 0.4 of a second he's lost. Potter and Philo starting to close up. The BMW just a little bit quicker on the longer straights than the Nissan. There's the gap. 2.2 seconds. 16 minutes remaining. leader Ace Killer then, 2.4 second lead. There is Potter and Philo. Into the dock. Holds it pretty tight through there, Ace Killer. Oh, Potter goes a bit wide. He's put himself under pressure from Philo here. Whoa, but Philo not able to get one up the inside. And that little punch up has cost them. The gap stretches back up to 2.8 seconds now. Will they work together here? Let's find out. On board with... Where's he gone? Philo. Is he going to make a move on Potter? Is he going to give him a little bump draft down the straight? All the hazards on from Potter. Side by side as they come into the hairpin. Potter holds the inside line. Philo not able to switch one back up the inside. Tricky when you've got a car very, very close in front. It does look like they are working together a little bit because you can't see when the apex comes up. You know, you've got to absolutely know your track inside and out. Oh, tiny drag down the wall there as well. So, are they closing the gap up? No, they're not. Ace Killer stretching his lead out, 3.1 seconds. 14 minutes of this race to go. A little bit of drifting there from Ace Killer. He's got to be careful, doesn't want to blow his tyres out too quick. Potter then, 3.2 seconds down. Oh, trying to drop any kind of toe for Philo. And the battle for second. Oh, Philo, late dive up the inside into the docks. Again, didn't quite make it work. All over the back of Potter on the exit though. Oh, tiny drag down the wall. All over the back of Potter then, Philo. Tricky section to overtake through here, but he's in a prime position to make a move at the hairpin. If you can carry the speed. Just a tenth in it between these two. Already looking to run around the outside then, Philo. Can he carry the speed? Who's going to win out? It is Potter that wins out on the brakes again. All the time, Ace Killer stretching his lead up from 3.7 seconds now. Tyre wear looking good compared to the drivers behind as well. It's properly kicking off here for second though. Fortunately, it's only a two-way fight at the minute. Gecko is bringing that time down again, 2 seconds. Battle for second, helping him out then. He might be able to get himself involved for a final podium position fight in the last few laps. Oni back up into fifth. He's got himself back past Mart. Fight happening then for fifth in the two McLarens. Brinky in the BMW in 7th, 10.3 seconds down. He's got Frosty in 8th, 6.2 seconds down. Take your time on that front left, Frosty. Ridder's 9th. Decent amount of life left in his soft. He can push those as hard as he likes for the last 12 minutes, 11 and a half. Same for Fat Pickles. Yeah, he's where were you going, IT43? I was going to say Millerman, unfortunately, on those softs has not been able to use them to his advantage and close up on IT43, unfortunately. He has gained about 4 seconds, but I don't think it's going to be enough before the end of the race. Ace Killer pushing hard, 5.2 second lead. Philo gets himself side by side with Potter. It's the same section he's had to go at every time in the last few laps. Potter still holds that inside line, holds the apex. And again, nowhere for Philo to go. And this battle has done exactly what I've said. There is Gecko Racer, just 0.8 of a second back now. It's a three-way fight for the podium. Philo having another look at Potter. He's going to try and run on the outside through the S's. He's onto the marbles, though. That slowed him down. It's put him right into the grips of Gecko Racer behind him. 0.6 of a second. He kept himself in touch with Potter, though, on the exit. Quarter of a second in it as they head down towards turn one. Potter holds it on the inside line. Sweeps back over to the right to get the racing line through the corner. Second, third and fourth all pretty close together. Nice killer then. 4.5. Why are you driving slowly through there? 4.8 seconds. It was 5.7. Lost a little bit of time somewhere, Ace Killer. Less than 10 minutes left in this race as well. Holding fastest lap as well, Ace Killer. Extra point on the board. They do get a point for pole position and fastest lap. It's all kicking off again. Potter, Philo, Gecko. What are they? 1.1 seconds between them. Potter managed to find a little bit of time. Gecko now filling the mirrors of Philo for that third position. So he's got his own worries now with the Aston Martin chasing him down for that third. He now has to stick his car in the middle of the circuit. Oh, but Gecko tries to run around the outside as he did and now goes back up the inside. Not quite able to get the power down, keep that wing up the inside of Philo's rear quarter, but hunts him down into these S's. So looking to get a drive out of this final corner onto the short start finish straight. It's 0.3. Oof, it's a dink into the wall. Oof, and again for Philo. Nowhere for Gecko to go through there, but stretches it back up to half a second on the exit. How did you do that, Philo? No opportunity here then for Gecko. Nice Killer. Just comfortably making his way around this circuit. Another 8 minutes to do. Gap slowly falling. 4.1 seconds. 4 seconds now. Potter broken away from those drivers behind. He has now got a 1.4 second lead over those two. They are still battling for that third position as well. Now can Potter chase down Ace Killer? 7.5 minutes left. Don't think he's got enough to make 4 seconds up. Not with Ace Killer's pace. He is putting in purple sectors though, Potter. Now he's broken away. Gecko. Again, will we see him make a move at the hairpin? He's now got himself up the inside, Gecko. Can Philo get the power down this time? Side by side on the exit here as well. And it is the Lexus of Philo that carries the speed on the way out of there. It's a good attempt by Gecko, but it wasn't enough this time. He's got another couple of laps to attempt that. He can see it's on, but their tyres are starting to fall away from them a little bit. They're pushing hard now at the end of this race. Potter McPot is slowly closing up. 4.1. It's now down to 3.9. He gives a little flash of the lights on the straights just to let Ace Killer know that we're still here, mate. We're not too far back. Again, the gaps start to open back up. 0.7 of a second between Gecko and Philo. Philo is closing the gap back up on Potter. They're still all 4.2 seconds behind Ace Killer though. There he is. So Millerman on those soft tyres, he has closed that gap down to IT43, 6.7 seconds the gap. Again, a little bit too late in the race now, I think, to make another position for Millerman. Let's have a run through then. So it is Ace Killer leading. We have about 5 minutes left of this race, 3.9 second lead over Potter McPot. He regains another 1.3 second lead. There you go, Potter giving Ace Killer a flash of the lights. Philo third, then Gecko in fourth position, Oni in fifth. Mart has not been able to get that position back off Oni. Sixth position for him at the minute, just over a second back from Oni. Brinky 13.6 in seventh. Frosty in 8th. Again, that front left absolutely battered. Come on, Frosty, you can do another 4.5 minutes. Don't put it in the wall. Ridders 9th. 17 seconds down. Fat Pickles in 10th. 11 seconds, nearly 12 seconds behind Ridders. IT43, 11 seconds behind Fat Pickles. And Millerman closing. 5.8 seconds behind IT43. Even those are fair bit of wear on those softs. They will be running quicker than the mediums, which is what IT43 is running. Four minutes remaining. The gap at 3.7 seconds for Ace Killer. Pot finds a little bit more time as well. 1.6 seconds over Philo. Philo's still got a mirror full of Gecko though. Getting away, but he's not been able to close up on Ace Killer. 3.7 seconds the gap still. Cleanly through there for Ace Killer. All sideways through there for Potter. To 3.4. Philo and Gecko side by side as they run into the S's. Who's got the metal through here then? So Philo, he holds the inside line. Gecko's had to back off again. He's pushing hard though. Gecko is causing Philo all sorts of trouble at the minute. Oof, gets a little bit wavy out of there. Does that help Gecko out on the run up to turn 1? Is coming down, but Philo's hugging that inside line. Now Gecko's not quite literally by the smallest of margins, not able to get up the inside of Philo. So he can have a run down towards the shipping containers. Side by side again. Can he carry the speed, get himself in front? Lexus just a little bit too powerful, I think, than the for the Aston to cope with. Good battle here though for third. But falling away from Potter in second, 2.7 seconds. He is slowly closing up. There is Ace Killer. 3.2 seconds up the road. We have only got a minute and a half left. No mistakes from Ace Killer. Should see him secure the win here tonight at Tokyo. So one more lap to do then. By the time they hit the start-finish line. Not sure everyone will make it there. 1 minute remaining then. Ace Killer through the S's. 3.1 second lead, 3.2 second lead over Potter. Final lap starts now then. Potter 3.3 behind him. Philo another 3.2 behind him. Gecko Racer 0.8 back. Mark back into... No! I was just going to say Mark back into 5th, but he's got the final corner a little bit wavy. Not, oh yes he has put it in the wall. Front end damage for Mark right at the end of the race as well. What a shame for Mark. Has to do his final lap with a little bit of damage and nobody to race with either. Let's see who else is coming up to the line. Brinky's crossed, so yeah, I'm Frosty is going to be the first of the finishers. His front left is absolutely gone, so he takes 8th position tonight. Frosty, I did say tyre wear is a big factor, unfortunately, when you're playing on pad. Ridders, he's going to come home in 9th position. Fat Pickles will take 10th. There it is. Oof, Millerman, oh, almost Millerman by the end of the race. Gets the gap down to 0.8 of a second as they come up to the line. Not quite enough though for Millerman. It was a good effort. Just 0.6 of a second in it. IT43 11th and Millerman in 12th. Now Ace Killer through these final S's still holds 2.7 seconds over Potter. He's flashing the lights already. Celebrations. Ace Killer will be happy with that result. Crosses the line to take the win then. Potter comes home in 2nd backwards. Philo will take 3rd. Gecko pushed him hard in that final stint. Has to take 4th though for Gecko. Mart. Oh. Oni, have you run out of fuel again? Mart back up into 5th. I thought that was him done for 6th. But he does take 5th. Brinky has taken 6th as well. And Oni, no, he's pushing hard. He's just lost it somewhere. He's got plenty of fuel on. Oh, what a shame for Oni. Had 5th in the bag, I thought. But no, Mark's taking that off him. Brinky takes 6th then. Arnie takes 7th. That is race done. Again, another fantastic fight up front. Top 4, top 5. New set of race overalls to look at. Look, the DKCC. There he is, 94. So there are your results. Ace Killer takes the win. Potter 2nd, Philo 3rd, Gecko Racer 4th, Mart in 5th, Brinky 6th, Oni in 7th, Frosty in 8th. Ridders 9th, Fat Pickles in 10th, IT43 in 11th, Millerman 12th, and Britsburger, unfortunately, I think he raced half of it and then, yeah, decided to leave. It was his return to racing after a while, so possibly being thrown in with the pros, not quite the best idea. Again, I thought you were going to be chucked into the pro-ams. That was the understanding I had, but maybe next week. Go back into the pro-ams next week. Go on, get in there. But that is about it from me. No more GT3 that finished last week, so nothing now apart from the last few rounds of this, obviously. Nothing now till July, I don't think, for... is it June? Is it June or July? It's July. It's the Red Bull Juniors with P1. Still no word on the minis yet either, unfortunately. Again, as and when I hear, I'll let you lot know. IT43 GTS all. Yes, not that it would have made a difference, but I got a 3-second penalty for passing under yellow. Oh, but the car I passed was spinning out. Yeah, I think that was Britsburger, probably, maybe. I'm not saying it was, but passing under a yellow. What if the car's spinning out or parked? I don't know what you're supposed to do. Yeah, but yeah, good racing all. Good racing all. So yes, that's going to be it from me tonight. I am back at the same time, same place next Wednesday, 8:30 for round 8 of the Team Oliver Racing GR3 League. Come and check it out. Again, there we have got the Pro-Ams running over there on D-Dot's channel, D.90 over there on Facebook. So if you're looking for the Pro-Ams, it's over there on Facebook on his page. Go and show him some love as well. Hit those little like buttons on his page. Hit all the like buttons on my page. You know the score, people. Like, comment, subscribe, stuff like that. Other than that, that's it from me tonight. I hope you've liked what you've watched. If you have, give it a like, comment, subscribe. Tell your mates, tell your mums. My name's Dark Smoker. I'm out of here.